question I'm posing is, why is a multi-level marketing insurance sales force approach good for the consumer? And this may kind of catch you guys off as weird. I've just said that a lot of the times the multi-level marketing approach doesn't really necessarily train well enough. In fact, I think one of the most important elements, what I use in my program, is the face-to-face training, where I want to show an agent how I sell, teach them my process based off of years of experience. Well, in many cases, your upline in a multi-level marketing agency has never sold the first product. And so if you go to them and try to get training from a face-to-face standpoint, it's lacking. You're not going to be impressed, and you're not going to really learn as well as you would have. Most people learn face-to-face, one-on-one, hands-on, in a lot better format than just, say, even a YouTube video or a training video or even a classroom session. There has to be hands-on experience to master the craft of selling insurance. And you don't get that a lot in multi-level marketing. However, one of the biggest advantages to the multi-level marketing approach is that because it uses a sphere of influence approach, there are going to be people who are more inclined to listen to friends and family members who are involved in one of these organizations than just some stranger off the street. There's less insurance agents getting into this business now than ever before. There's a slew of retirements coming down the road. And so a lot of people just haven't been contacted by an insurance agent like they were commonly over the last 20, 40 plus years. And so a lot of people buy simply because of that relationship. Again, it helps get insurance on the books that otherwise would not be placed, simply because of that connection with the rep and whatever their sphere of influence is. So one good point with a multi-level marketing approach that does a really good job of the recruitment element, beyond the aspect of whether or not it's the best approach to train an agent, is that they're going to see people that normally a guy like me wouldn't see. You know, a person who responds to a contact, who expresses interest in showing them their insurance product, probably wouldn't respond necessarily to a direct mail piece or a telemarketing piece or Facebook lead. They may be lead adverse like most people are these days. And so we see it when you got 1% responding on direct mail, maybe 2% if you're in a really good area. That's 98% of the population doesn't send anything. So you're going to find there's a lot of people who will be covered that otherwise wouldn't because of the methodology that's taught to these agents. So that's one good point with the business. The other thing that's good for a multi-level marketing approach for agents is that it is a gateway to get involved in this business. And again, I can't tell you how many people I have interacted with in my agency or just through the course of talking with different agents that have started off in a multi-level marketing environment. And they get started, they like the insurance product, they like to help the people, but they realize there are some long-term problems with the setup as it comes to a producing agent. So, for example, you'll see people come into these organizations, huge organizations, writing 50, 60 million a year, where they start off at 50% commission. And they get out there, they buy leads, they sell, they like the business. They're not making a lot of money because it's very hard when you account for lead costs. And they find out that in order to get their commission levels up, because there's a way to get higher commissions, they have to get involved in the recruiting game. And so a lot of people who are interested in selling insurance are not interested in recruiting. For some people, it's the concept of adult babysitting. The idea of babysitting new agents and answering the question drives them nuts. But they find themselves in a position to where they cannot necessarily advance to the next level. So I kind of look at multi-level recruiting as a gateway to the insurance business. In fact, when I started, the first webinar I sat through was with the multi-level marketing organization. I was skeptical of it. I never did pull the trigger and work with them and went with another organization instead. But it gave me the kind of this starting point to investigate what the other options were. And so, and a lot of people who get recruited by multi-level marketing insurance agencies are people who aren't necessarily insurance agents to begin with either. They may be attracted to the opportunities to make an income. When they look on a job board, many of the best recruits that weren't necessarily in the insurance business to start with came from other other industries and were recruited by another agent within the hierarchy through one of these referral chains. So a lot of people get into this business that are absolutely needed to help regular folks out with insurance needs that otherwise wouldn't do it. And that's a good thing. And what's even better is that the ones who are really concerned about that they want to produce as a mainstay, they find out that there's a lot better opportunities for a personal producer, not necessarily a recruiting agent, but for a personal producer to go out there, recruit, or go out there and just personally produce, but at a better commission, excuse me, and in a way to run their own business more in line with what they want. So I don't think a multi-level marketing, my point here is I don't think multi-level marketing is the ideal approach for a personal producing agent that has no desire to recruit agents. I think even in the long term, one problem you will have with a multi-level marketing organization potentially is that you've got constantly have to explain why you're getting shortchanged on your commission. It's a tough racket when you're recruiting guys at 50, 60%, making them pay full price for leads. There's organizations that do that. When they finally run into some other agent who gets paid double that and pays the same price for leads, and especially for a personal producing guy that doesn't want to recruit, it's a hard proposition to justify why all these people above them are taking a piece of the action and not really doing much to help. So that's why it's good for the agents that want to be producers long term. And then the last point I'll say here is that, I think besides a lot of people hating the multi-level marketing approach, I think the good thing about it is that it gets more people covered. And the one approach or one concept you should really hold dear is that the best person to sell a policy to is the one that's already paying the premium. So if you've got somebody who is not paying an insurance premium, say you're in the final expense market and they're 70, they don't have insurance, why have they waited until 70 to buy insurance? And hey, Twyman, how you doing? Yeah, I know who you're talking about too. And it's probably the guy who started this company, by the way. Good book, by the way. But anyways, my point is that the thing is that when you get more people owning insurance and you get them to get used to it paying a regular premium, they're going to be a lot more open-minded to see what you have to offer as well. So look at it this way. It's easier for me to take someone's $100 a month premium and show them how they could put that into something better than maybe an overpriced multi-level marketing program. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry for coughing. Versus taking somebody who's paying nothing and then asking them to come up with $100 a month. It's a harder proposition to have them come up with the money that they weren't spending before than it is to come in and show you how I can value proposition this to be a better utilization of the money you're already spending. And then on top of that, one of the things that's inherent about multi-level marketing, really just insurance business as well, but multi-level marketing probably more so, is that there's a huge turnover, okay? So the person who sells the policy to the policyholder is probably not going to be there next year. And I'm telling you guys, especially you new guys, need to listen to this. If you take anything away from this, it's this, is you got to get out there and see these people you sell policies to year after year. It's so much easier to sell insurance to somebody who already bought, likes, and trusts you. And you'll find these people will buy more insurance. You don't pay anything to get those leads. They're already people you paid the price to develop as a client. So go back and see them. So a lot of these people, they'll pick up a term insurance plan, all right? And then they'll have it for a year or two, and the guy will be gone. But if the agent was still in the business and said, hey, I'd like to sit down and do a policy review on your insurance and see if there's been any new needs and show you what I'm doing differently, maybe I could help you. He'll get back in front of it, see what's going on, ask if the income has gone up, or maybe they moved into a new house, they owe more money now, and now there's a reason to sell more insurance. But if you never take those steps and you never stay in the business that long either, you really miss out on that. So what's great is the guy who's going to stay in this the long term, the multi-level marketing groups that go out and sell people who didn't own it prior really lay the groundwork as to the importance of owning insurance, so that the proficient agent that does this for years simply goes out and shows them something better and closes them on that versus show them something that's a completely new concept. It's much easier to sell someone on an improvement of a product they already appreciate than it is to take somebody who doesn't really put their money where their mouth is and own it, and then take them from zero to whatever it is that you're trying to sell them on. So it's always immensely better to work people who already own insurance. And we can thank multi-level marketing approaches that are heavy on the recruiting and poor on the training to getting out there and convincing people to sell or to buy insurance. A big staple of many top producers in this business is replacement. I know one guy who allegedly does 70% of his business is replacements. I was impressed when I heard people were selling 1 out of 3 of their policies is because of replacements. That means they took somebody who owned insurance and just made it better through a new product. So anyways, I guess part of this was to put together a quick video on multi-level marketing. You know, I think there's better opportunities for new agents.